All right, guys. So let's get started with the new course here in the uh, 2001. No, I was gonna say okay, it's a 6-in-1 course. Some of my famous stunts. Yeah, it just keeps on going, eternity for eternity. Here we're talking about Microsoft Intune. It's really useful for organizations of small, large, and extra large, double, triple, maybe sizes. So, if you have, and thanks to COVID, I mean, I shouldn't be saying thanks, but because of COVID, it got really magnified that how do you handle your devices, company devices, and that constitutes laptops, desktops, and cell phones, tablets, and maybe Apple Watch as well. I didn't see Apple Watch, though, policies for that. Anyway, if you want to handle thousands of devices of your company from the cloud, then Microsoft Intune is one-stop shop, one-stop shop. And here we're going to be in this course, we're going to be going through lots and lots of configurations and policies and lots of labs as well that we're going to go through. But what is Intune and where is it coming from, actually? We need to know that too. And For that, obviously, we have to go way back in the past. Where's the time machine? I left it somewhere here. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go to that URL here. What is Microsoft Intune? I'll just put that URL in the chat as well. So you could just open on your side and okay. Um, yeah. So this is the URL, and what is Intune? Let's go to, I mean, first introduction, and then we go for actual, um, you know, what is exactly it's doing and why is it so magnifico, right? Magnificent. Okay, so Microsoft Intune securely manages identities, manages apps. So it's not only devices, it's apps as well. And apps is a big pain in the neck, right? So, and manages devices. So devices was what it was famous for, but obviously even its previous versions, the on-premises versions were famous for device controller devices, deploying operating systems over the network, and then deploying apps as packages as well over the network to thousands and thousands of machines and user accounts. So it what it does is that if you want to manage identities, well, manage entities would be anything related to security, service principals, service accounts, user accounts, groups. Um, so you can manage them as well. I'm going to show you how. Although Active Directory obviously is the main source of identity where all the identities are managed, but Intune leverages or takes benefit of Active Directory. Other than that, there is manage apps and manage devices. So that's a big pain for the companies to manage what kind of applications and apps, like big applications or smaller apps in cell phones, tablets, that you can deploy and make available for your clients and for your users. Suppose there are thousands of users, so how do you really deploy apps, but how do you choose the apps? How do you make packages of those apps and then deploy it? Also, obviously, this is the most biggest threat to the company, and that is end user devices. That's where the attacks start, right? So, how do you really remotely manage devices, then remotely secure devices? That's what you need to really be considering on. When I joined my company, the current company, and that was, excuse me, that was during COVID. that I joined my current company, and everyone was at home already. Or actually, sorry, it was the start of COVID, and all of a sudden, the whole Canada heard that, hey, stick to home, don't get out. So it was like warning signs and everything. So at that time I got hired. So everyone at once from offices went to homes and started connected from homes, and there was no security there. They were just connected to Office 365. They were having no patching mechanisms, and their employee machines in my company were all unpatched, as well as no security policies there. Maybe some of them were encrypted, but not all. So that was a pretty bad condition, the endpoint side of our company. The employee laptops, cell phones, desktops, everything was a mess. So then I wrote a very huge email that, okay, we need to secure our first line of defense. And first line of defense is our end users and laptops. They click one link and that's it. Malware comes in, it multiplies, it attacks other machines, and that's how it spreads. If it's a ransomware, whoa, that's bad news. The devices have to be secured from all kinds of attacks. Then I suggested that there should be compliance policies, there should be configuration profiles for the devices, there should be endpoint security baselines. That's like hundreds of, or more than 100 security policies and management policies. That's what we're going to go through to remotely not only manage the device, the laptop or desktop or cell phone, but how to deploy applications securely, and how to get reports of which application is a risky one, which device is a risky one, who downloaded what, and why, what are the permissions of users. So you manage all devices of your company from a cloud platform. You manage apps of the whole company from a cloud platform, and then you manage identities as well. So there's a PDF that Sal has shared. Thank you for that. You can download that and then check
It's
out the
it's
overview of,
it's the same
yeah.
thing. It's the same thing in offline view.
Okay.
It's
So
like an
that's great.
MP3.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Now we're talking about then key features, and then integrates with Microsoft services and apps, integrates with third-party partner devices and apps as well, enroll in device management and application management. So it's a lot of stuff that Intune offers. But anyone knows what is MDM and MAM? So what is, okay, I'll just put it here. What is MDM and MAM? In fact, key features before that. That's the terminology. So what is? I'm just gonna put that there. What is? And then um, MDM, MAM. Uh, so ever heard of MDM before? Yeah, he's my neighbor. He's a very nice
Yes,
guy. Yeah, okay. Hmm.
morning. Yes, MDM is mobile device management,
Okay. And mobile device management. Okay. And what is MAM?
and
Just
that is mobile application management, MAM.
mm. So mobile application management. Okay, thank you. Um, Now, obviously, what we were talking about till now is that, oh, we can handle all the devices and we can handle all type of applications as well. There are other software and rival applications there as well. Anyone knows some good MDM solutions out there? Okay, Intune, Microsoft Intune, but there are other solutions as well. What are the other solutions? I think from VMware there is one solution. So
Unified one.
Which one?
Unified, the one workspace one.
Unified One. Okay.
No,
MDM solution.
no. Workspace one.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That. But. Oh,
Yeah.
what is this? Bing. Really? Okay. MDM. Oh man, why do I ever search in Bing? I mean, is Bing good? Okay. Anyway, so in search, it has added
No.
AI. So yeah, Workspace One
Mhm.
is one, but there are and what are the other ones? There are so many names now gonna come. Manage Engine is a bit well known. Um, and yeah, as you said, VMware Workspace One, exactly. Citrix has also come up with endpoint management. Oh, there's a lot of sound coming. Please mute everyone. Okay, so Citrix endpoint management, Samsung, Knox Mobile, that's not just for mobile, but the more uh, well-known among enterprises would be VMware Workspace One, and BlackBerry Unified. Oh, wow, used to be. BlackBerry Unified Endpoint Management, Citrix Endpoint. Why did it come back again? Okay, and MBM, yeah, IBM, sorry, IBM Mass 360. This is Sorty. Some of the companies go for Sorty as well. Sorty is in our language stick with which we beat up the other person. So, but it's not that Sorty. Cisco Meraki. Are you kidding me? Okay. So yeah, it's for managing devices and firewall, everything through cloud. And this is amazing, but for small companies, Cisco Meraki, right? Where is that name that I was looking for that is so well known for MDM? Seriously, Bing? Seriously, Bing? You didn't put that name? Do I have to go to Google for that? Uh, was Hey, the most famous you just skipped. Ah, see, you make me go to Google. So, uh, MDM solutions in the market. Uh, okay, so here, the best mobile device management solutions. PC Magazine, okay, let's go there. Manage Engine is there, yeah. Sorty again, yay. In warning, okay. So, VMware AirWatch, in Scotiabank when I was there. So they had AirWatch as the MDM solution where we were managing all the cell phones, especially the BlackBerry ones at that time. Wow, that's old. Yeah. So BlackBerry cell phones were there. We had a BlackBerry BES server, BES, BlackBerry Enterprise Services server, and everything on premises, right? The old school thing. At that time, it was not old school. So AirWatch, IBM Mass 360, these are the rivals of Intune and Citrix Zen Mobile. Okay, they have that too. Microsoft Intune, best for Microsoft customers. We have in our company and many other companies, they have thousands and thousands of iPhone and Android devices, and Intune is so good. Now, Microsoft customers, when they say yes, it definitely if you're a Microsoft shop, you have all the products from Microsoft, then yes, Intune should be easily able to integrate with all other products. But otherwise, yes, it's very good with iPhone and Androids as well. So then there is AppTech 360 Enterprise Mobility. Okay, there are many others, and Barramundi Management Suite. Okay, so Barracuda, maybe it's the cousin of Barracuda. But so there are main solutions are these, in fact, and you should know in the market when you're going for applying for a job or you're just talking in your company for a project. So you should be knowing the rivals of Microsoft Intune as well, and this would really be a good comprehensive list of the main opponents of rivals, we can say, right, of Intune. So I'm just going to put that here as well. Okay. And these are the rivals of Intune. So yeah, that's a list. So I'm just going to put it as a separate slide here quickly. Rival MDM solutions, and obviously they're very good as well. But if you're a Microsoft shop, you have all the Microsoft products, then obviously this would suit you more. So if I go for this design, yeah, all names are recurring. Okay, let's keep going, keep moving. You know what's going on right now? I am
So, you ever heard of Tanium?
Tadium,
Tanium.
Tanium.
Yeah,
It's like some nuclear thing or like titanium. Oh no, just kidding. No, never heard of it. But definitely there are many companies outside. Um, okay, guys,
for
but these are
endpoint.
for endpoint. Okay, that's good.
Tanium.
Oh, Panium,
No, Tanium.
Tanium. Okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah, there are many other solutions as well, but
Sorry.
some of the main ones are in the list for 2023. This is a 2023 list. Yeah, Tanium. Okay, thank you. So, okay, guys, that's also a good addition, I guess. Now, ma'am, when it comes to mobile application management, so that would also be something that one solution should be providing all management of devices and all management of applications on the devices. What I was saying just now was that well, one of the employees of my company downloaded something and she thinks that it could be malware. So I'm also attending to those messages with my boss and junior admin, and we're investigating what she downloaded. And yeah, so that is also going on, but it's not something very critical. So early morning, somebody decided to download something. We don't have very strict policies, but now I'll push some very strict policies as well. Okay, that nobody should be just downloading. Oh, let me check that. Seriously. Okay, so let's go for that. Next slide. And the link is there if you want to check out what Sal has put there. Okay, so now we're going to go for some of the diagrams here. Now, okay, you have been hired as a cloud admin. Um, okay, Alteryx are other, exactly, you're right. Alteryx is also a good vendor. Now, suppose this is a Toronto branch here, and you've been hired as an admin. And this company has a lot of devices, but nobody to handle those devices or no remote system to handle those devices. Suppose there are 10K users, and there are obviously they have laptops and iOS, which is iOS and Android cell phones, tablets, iOS, Android cell phones, tablets and tablets, laptops, obviously desktops, and Mac OS. What about Mac OS? Mac OS is, you install Mac operating system, and actually they have their own hardware as well. You just simply buy the whole thing from Apple. So if you have all kinds of devices, I was gonna write BlackBerry, but I don't think anyone still uses BlackBerry? Anyone's company, did you hear someone still using BlackBerry? No, right? BlackBerry's gone, right? You know,
Gone.
gone? Okay. Like totally gone because I heard that they had a software side of because of their encryption was so good. I don't know how this company could go down, but this is so sad. It was a pure Canadian company with so BlackBerry. What I'm doing is I'm actually checking my app store. Hey, we have BlackBerry. Okay. I was checking my iPhone app store right now. There's a BlackBerry UEM client, BBM Enterprise. Oh, those software are still there. BBM Access. So if I BlackBerry work is there as well. So I'm just gonna share a screenshot in WhatsApp that BlackBerry actually still exists, and yeah, there are very uh, bad comments on those. Uh, the Yeah, they could not really perfect their services the way others, their rivals, had done. Where's the class? Yeah, oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, I'm just gonna upload the picture there. So in my iPhone, I do see BlackBerry client as well, and it's in WhatsApp. I just put there. Okay, so you have these many devices, and you've just joined as a new admin. Now you're gonna check what's going on with those devices. So are these devices, um, you know, present in Active Directory or any other um, inventory software. So, do you know how many devices are there? Are they registered? Are they has to be connected to some kind of domain, right? Or some kind of inventory software that you know. And then, are you able to remotely connect to any of them without any issue. So, what kind of a remote um, connectivity you have? And this solution is a bit separate from Intune. We faced it firsthand during, excuse me, COVID, because Intune, okay, it deploys policies, it deploys applications, it manages remotely. Manages means we can see remotely, uh, okay, this device in our inventory, right? We can push some software there. We can push some policies there. What if we want to remotely connect to them as well? These devices. So Intune is obviously it does not provide that. It does provide a connectivity to TeamViewer. So TeamViewer software you can push in all the devices, and then you can remotely connect to those devices. So when you are you remotely able to connect is not this is not Intune, not Intune functionality. Um, but remote software, with SMS, and then okay, I'll give a history of it as well. Not Intune functionality, but remote software can be pushed via Intune uh, to devices. Okay. So can you connect? Are you able to see the devices in the inventory, first of all? Second thing, can you connect to those devices? Third thing is, are you able to push um, security policies, security and compliance policies to all the devices, right? Um, and if yes, then what is the solution that you use? And obviously, when you join a company, you should have all these that, hey, what control I have on the infrastructure, right? Depends on your job, obviously. If you are coming as a system admin, IT admin, then yes, these are the questions. If suppose it's a big organization and you have this product as you're the owner of this product in the company, and you're responsible for MDM, or you're responsible for Active Directory, anything Microsoft, you're in that team. So these questions you should be having in mind. Are you able to push security and compliance policies to all the devices? Are you able to um, push applications um, to all the devices? Uh, are you able to push patches? Microsoft and non-Microsoft patches, updates, right? To all OS. Now OS also comes, and apps, OS apps. That's big one, right? patching. So this is something every company will require day one. They will expect you to know, hey, can you do patching of what? Of what we have mentioned here, of Microsoft based laptops, desktops, Mac OS, iOS devices, which are iPhone, and then Android cell phones and tablets, right? So can you do patching of all these technologies, all these vendors, devices, right? So um, also, can you, well, when we say application, yeah, I covered that already, but there are categories here as well. Are you able to push Microsoft and non-Microsoft applications? So suppose they want Google Chrome deployed on all devices and managed by the managed centrally as well in terms of security and patches, right? So are you able to push Microsoft and non-Microsoft applications? Um, Not only push, so push slash manage, right? So pushing may be one challenge, but can you manage as well? You want to remove something, you want to modify something, can you do that? Or unenroll something. So there are many, these are major questions that come to mind right away, that how much control do I have on the endpoint um, devices, right? So when we say, let's just use a term as well. So are these always say endpoint, right? And point devices. That would be that, okay, we're talking about end users. We're not talking about all devices means it could be servers as well. And it could be production servers where thousands of users are connecting, and you can't just blindly go with whatever you're doing with end users or endpoint devices and the servers, virtual machines on Azure or physical servers having very critical applications, business critical applications. You can't just treat them the same way as you treat the end user or endpoint devices, right? So strategy is totally different for servers that are having enterprise grade applications. So that's a lot of questions. There would be more. I mean, it really has so much comprehensive policies there in terms of compliance and security. So where did I mention? Yeah, there it is. So are you able to push security and compliance? So it's not just push, able to select the appropriate appropriate uh, security and compliance policy, and that's a lot of them. And you have to be sure which one you really need, and you can't just select everything and push. Then you will get a lot of errors and a lot of angry users as well. So what you push, you just push, but it goes to thousands of users, and then there could be angry reactions as well. That, hey, what are you doing? Are you gonna let us work or what? So are you able to select the appropriate security and compliance policies? Security and compliance policies slash configurations. So it becomes bigger and bigger, a bit more complicated. The more complicated you understand and know, the better, more demand you have in the market. If you know something easy that everyone knows, then I mean, there's no demand, right? You need to know the complicated stuff. Okay, so configurations, push, security. So are you able to select the appropriate security and compliance policies, configurations, push, select and push, then and push them to all devices. So, and about this, I and my junior admin, we had to go through, uh, okay, do we need this policy? Oh, what is this policy about? Okay, let's Google it. There's some new terminology here, and then we're Googling it, and then we're discussing, no, it means this. No, 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 it means that. And then we would come to conclusion after more documentation is done. We're fully knowledgeable. Do we need it or not? Because we were given a direction by our management, senior management, that we will not go very strict. We're not a bank, uh, so we're not going to go very strict. Then we would just analyze, okay, this is too strict for user. If we are still confused about shall we implement it, then we would just ask the director. And she's also very, very technical. So she would just decide right away, no, yes, nah, no, yes. So that's how we would just explain the whole thing and just she would just decide. Okay, anyway, so these are all the questions that you should have in mind when you have joined a company and you are ready to take over the MDM solution. And for that, you have to have, once you have questions, obviously you're going to check out everything. You're going to see that in Azure Active Directory. So check, well, we're talking about Microsoft environment, right? And cloud environment. So you will be checking then check Azure AD for devices available, and check your if you have any inventory software. We have inventory software called Top Desk, right? Um, Anyone ever heard of Top Desk before? No, right? Top Desk. Or do you, what inventory software you use or ticketing software you use? That has inventory as well. You have any idea about that? Those who are already working or heard about it? So ticketing and inventory software. Okay, Bakar says service. Oh, ServiceNow is. Vijay says ServiceNow. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. ServiceNow is state of the art. Exactly. That is ticketing, but that's pretty expensive. Minimum was $40,000 per month when we were doing some search, and minimum of their package was 40,000. So imagine then well, when I was in Scotiabank, yes, ServiceNow we were using that. So here we went for Top Desk. That was a bit cheaper than that. Rafael says Pathfinder. Okay, that's for ticketing and inventory. Okay, nice. But ServiceNow is way. I mean, obviously it's very expensive as well, but it's for big enterprises. Okay, so that's great. Check Azure AD for devices available and check your inventory software for all apps and devices. And you're going to see that Intune has so much in terms of, actually, it's not, I mean, let me just put that there. Microsoft Defender with Intune is a perfect security and compliance combination. If you have Microsoft Defender, obviously you have to pay for that, but it's excellent. And there's so many tools, long list of tools and effective tools that are there because they have to safeguard their environment from hackers and ransomware attacks. If their environments are attacked, obviously they will lose customers, right? So they have to vigorously defend that. So Microsoft Defender uh, with Intune. So that's is an excellent combination. Is an excellent combination. Combination of what? Combination. What am I saying? Combination. Finally, I got it. Of security and compliance policies, and it's so vast after that when you add Defender tools to um, MDM solutions, right? It so you just think that hey, that's it. Just okay, sorry, guys. There's that employee who thinks that employee is actually senior management, so I'm just checking those messages quickly. Okay, so yeah, here. um Check your, so obviously that's what you're going to start, that you will check your devices, you will check your inventory software. This is just a comment, so this is not, I mean, something it's good to know, I mean, so this is not something as a checklist, but next checklist would be that you would ask the company, hey, what kind of MDM solution do we have? Or if we don't have, where should we go? And obviously, you're the administrator, you're the technical person there. You will be asked by the management, okay, what do you suggest? and then you say, okay, I suggest that we go for Microsoft Intune. So, is your Microsoft Intune connected to your Azure AD? So that would be another checklist. If not, then yeah, how to do that, how to enable Intune in your cloud environment, Microsoft Cloud infrastructure. You have to attach it, you have to connect it, you have to enable some places there, and what licenses. Another very big thing is what licenses does company licenses does the company have? Uh, and when we talk about licenses, so is it E1, E3, E5, uh, business? So, so Bakar says in the chat, can we connect any device to Azure AD like iOS, Android, Linux? So iOS, Android, yes, definitely, and we're going to be doing that. Linux, I'm sure there will be. We don't have any Linux device in our environment, but there should be. I'm not sure about that, but I'm gonna be sure right away. Uh, Instantly. So I'll just go for that. Can Intune manage Linux? I think it can, but we didn't have to do that. It's supported on Linux desktops running Ubuntu version. Okay, so these can be enrolled. Linux desktops running Ubuntu LTS version 22.404 or 20.04. Employees assigned Intune licenses can enroll their personal Linux devices into Microsoft Intune whenever they want during that. But I think that's it. Microsoft Intune work on Linux. I didn't have to do that, so I'm just doing the search myself. Enroll your personal Linux device in Microsoft Intune to get secure access. We should do that, but I never was a Linux guy. So can we enroll Linux device? I wish I would. In fact, one of our developer uses Linux, so I think I'll make that as a guinea pig, telling him, "Oh, Linux needs to be secured as well from Intune. Oh man, it's important." So I could just gain some experience. Okay. Okay. Can we enroll Linux device with Intune? Linux devices can be enrolled in Intune. Once they're enrolled, they receive the policies you create. Users can use the Microsoft Edge browser to access organization resources. Okay, so that's the full guide for Linux. So that's a good question. Because if it's a Linux company or there's a lot of Linux, then which Linux is supported? That would be the question, right? You use Ubuntu desktop, desktop again. Use Ubuntu servers. So servers, no. There you go. Limitations are there. Devices are owned by organization or school. Yes, Intune supports that. Devices are personal or BYOD. Uh, BYOD is there and BYOL as well, right? So BYOD is bring your own device. BYOL is bring your own lunch. So don't look at my lunch, right? Okay, just kidding. So here, you have new or existing devices. Well, Linux, Ubuntu so far need to enroll a few devices or a large number of devices, bulk enrollment. So Linux Intune does not support that. Devices are associated with a single user if they are with a single license. Devices are user-less, such as kiosk or dedicated device. Intune does not support that. Devices are managed by another MDM provider. Intune doesn't support that. You use the device enrollment manager DEM account. Nope, Intune does not support. So very limited in Linux related exposure, and that's just this Ubuntu desktop 20.04. Okay, so we get that. And there's okay, we're gonna go for security pricing as well. I'm gonna add that here. Does Intune support Linux? And then I'll put that link here, and I will put there as well and here as well. Okay. I'll go for then new slide, and all right. Now there's that link that Sal has shared as well. So I'm just gonna open that, and
Yeah.
it's talking about the same thing. Oh, it's my link. I'm gonna go for the other one, Intune pricing. Now, we were talking about license as well. So yeah, we can then go for Intune pricing, and you can have corporate Intune in $8 per month. I'm just kidding. Okay. So Microsoft Intune Plan 1, Sal, you can mute. There's a lot of noise coming. Okay. Yeah. So Microsoft Intune Plan 1, Microsoft Intune Plan 2, Intune Suite, $10. Man, that is so less. An add-on to Microsoft Intune Plan 1 that offers advanced endpoint management capabilities. Microsoft Intune Plan 2 is included in Microsoft Intune Suite, which is $10 per user per month, I think. Yeah, there are Intune plans here as well. But when we go for E5, it is pretty much there with all its grandeur. So if I go for Microsoft E5 license, Intune. Yeah, so that 365 enterprise. And yeah, you just have to enable enterprise mobility and security. So then you get Intune with it. Um, but E5 includes that. Compare enterprise plans. Okay, compare enterprise plans. I clicked it, believe me. Okay, yeah. So E1, E3, E5. So that would be then $32.53. But when I go for Intune, so Control F, and if there is Intune, okay, maybe I have to load more. Get the full comparison table. They did not. Uh, Sal, there's a lot of noise coming. Sal, can you mute? And others also can't hear. Okay. So I'm gonna go for E5. Yeah, E5 is pretty expensive, and companies would have E3 as well, or E1 as well. But oh, Intune, they didn't mention that, but it's enterprise mobility that they would be going for. When it they oh, I don't want to really download the PDF, but okay, since I can't get there, yeah, now it's oh man, that's a detail. So this is a PDF document. I'm going to share that. You can see on the top, enterprise mobility and security, this one, right? And there now Intune is showing there in 7 places. So Microsoft Intune Plan 1, endpoint and app management. So it's pretty small. Oh, what did I do? Okay. And I'll just make it a bit larger. There you go. Intune Plan 1. And then there is, if I go down, uh, and then in Plan 2, Intune Suite and Intune Remote Help. Microsoft Intune Remote Help. Actually, it says Remote Help, but we didn't find any Intune tool other than that Intune was connecting us with TeamViewer. So we have to separately purchase TeamViewer license, right? Okay. So these are the comparisons, and this PDF then would be useful. No, 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 no. Is Intune the one they're using for SLA for vendors? Uh, Paul has a question that just questions is Intune the one they are using for SLA for vendors? Yeah, I mean like SLA is you're providing service on time as promised, and if there's a problem or issue, are you meeting the SLA you're supposed to fulfill, or implement the solution within 4 hours, suppose. So are you doing that? Are you meeting the SLA? So can Intune help in implementing SLA? So yes, Intune has some tools, especially for you want to push something, you want to deploy something, you want to change configurations of something. So suppose there was a add-on that got added in the here, or extension that got added here, right? So that extension actually is giving a lot of issues. So suppose I go for extensions here, right? Manage extensions, and you want to and unenroll it, right? So you can just remove it across thousands of devices, and you can meet your SLA. So there are many things you want to push something, or you want to remove something, you want to change configurations of some app or software if it was managed by Intune. So you can see here, your browser is managed by your organization, this one, right? So this is going on, you have to really be managing that the application or device, and then yes, you can meet SLAs there once you know that how to push some kind of configuration changes to thousands of devices or apps. So yes, it can be really pushed, and SLA could be met by many of the scenarios in Intune. SLA, well, it's very less, excuse me, less time I had to use Intune for any meeting any SLA to resolve issues. Mainly it was configurations on hundreds of devices, right? So for that, it's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here, and I'll put that um, PDF there so you could, um, yeah, SLA online services. So there you go. So thanks, Sal. Sal has provided
Yeah,
that.
so page, if you click on that link, download the latest one. It's September 2023. Paul, and
Hmm.
sorry, he's not here, but he would download that, and then once you download it, it's on page 93.
Okay,
They talk about Intune SLAs. It's got everything you
cool.
guys want to know about that. That'll be in the
Yeah,
video too. So that first
yeah,
one there, day one,
yeah.
September English, it's just a download agreement, and then in there you'll
Mm.
have all the Intune stuff.
Okay, that's very good. So please do download that. This is service
Yeah,
level agreement for online services. That's good. And thank you for sharing that.
this
And
will have everything you need.
oh, that's it. Okay. So yeah, that's what you can check out, and the link is there. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So this done. Let's go ahead. Guys, now obviously we need to go ahead with the lab as well. There are lots of X10 Civ labs that needs to be um, implemented. Okay, so Paul says my current work is SLA with HP, and HP have pretty good and strict policy for their hardware and network. You can't just put any image or ISO on their SLA hardware. Oh, okay, so that's good. Okay, so guys, yeah, there are some SLA agreements um, that obviously every company or vendor has for their products. So definitely Intune also has that. Okay, now if we go ahead with the some of the features, I'm just gonna go a bit more quick so we could also talk about the lab and the setup for that. Obviously, you have to have a developer 3 months free account, trial account, and then you should be able to work. Otherwise, they do give with credit card 1 month trial account, but with developer you don't have to use the card. So I'm gonna explain that too for those who are joining new. Okay, so some key features benefits of Intune include you can manage users and devices, including devices owned by your organization and personally owned devices. So the problem comes from the BYOD, personally owned devices, because you have your own lots of apps, and it could be insecure whatever you're downloading, and then we are downloading company critical data. We are allowing our apps, company apps, and critical data inside the apps to be downloaded to your personal device. So will it be secure? That's the first question, right? So we're going to make sure that we prove that yes, it is secure. And suppose your device, personal device, is lost, right? And your personal device not only has your personal data, but the company data as well. Now what you do, right? Or you are leaving the company, or the employee is leaving a company, and your company data is in his or her personal device as well. So can you only remove remotely the company data from the end user's personal device? Is that possible? So yes, it is. And while I was testing in my company this remote wipe command, so I just wiped my whole personal device. But I was a mad scientist at that time just to get things going and prove, oh, this works. Then I knew that, oh, okay, there was a safer way to do it. That it just removes Outlook and Teams data from your personal device, and it does not touch anything else in your personal device. Yep, the personal devices is something that is a big question mark, but we are managing that. Big companies are managing that too. And yes, the data is safe, and we keep an eye on our data, company data at least, in your personal device, but we cannot see any of your personal stuff from Intune. So this was the first question by my director and CFOO, that um, you're deploying Intune in my personal device. Can you see my personal chat and everything? So I said, no way we can see that, because if we are able to see that, then no one will trust Microsoft, and no one will buy Microsoft technology and products. So no, we cannot see your personal data, but yes, we can see or we can detect that, yeah, our company data is there and company apps are there. It's not like CC. I mean, we cannot remotely log into your cell phone. We cannot do that unless we have put some special software that connects us to your cell phone. So we cannot see that. And yeah, Microsoft Intune does not support that and should not. Otherwise, no one will purchase that. Microsoft Intune supports Android open source project AOSP, iOS, iPad OS, Linux, Ubuntu desktop, there you go, Mac OS, and Windows client devices. With Intune, you can use these devices to securely access organizational resources with policies you create. So that's a lot of policies coming your way. If we go ahead now, yes, it supports Linux, but Ubuntu simplifies app management. You can deploy with a built-in app experience, including app deployment. So what does it do with the app? App deployment, updates, and removal. Okay, that's what we want. We want to deploy, then we want to keep on patching those apps, and then whenever we want, we can remove as well. You can connect to and distribute apps from a private app stores, enable Microsoft 365 apps, deploy Win32 apps, older legacy apps as well, create app protection policies, very important, and manage access to apps and their data, right? So Rafael has a question, and that is, since you have company app on personal device, can it be remotely wiped or compliance policy applied? Yes, definitely. On your personal device, the company data and company apps can be patched. Company app and data can be separately, securely removed as well. And I'm going to show you where to go and do that. But yes, you can easily do that. And that's the specialty of Intune. Intune automates policy deployment for app security, device configuration, compliance, and conditional access, and more. When the policies are ready, you can deploy these policies to your user groups and device groups. To receive these policies, the devices only need internet access, right? So yeah, it's automatically new policies come automatically, they could be deployed as well. Employees and students can use the self-service features in the company portal app to reset. Okay, guys, what is this? Ever heard of this? Company portal app? So this is the first thing we do when a user comes up. Okay, Rafael says yes. So company portal app is the first app you deploy on any devices. So if I go here for a diagram and Then I start putting here, you know what, I would need some drawings here for the devices as well, so we could have a better experience with this. So iPhone, okay. I'll just quickly go for images here. iPhone and Android, so they have a bit of, hey, how do I know it's iPhone? Don't the Android look the same? Oh, there you go, Apple. Okay. Just need a logo. So if I go for diagrams here on the other side, diagrams. Ugh, okay. Pictures. I'll just put the pictures. Oops, I'm just talking about. So here, uh, where's my? Yeah. So there's iPhone, and if I go quickly for Android, so how would I know it's Android phone? I mean, if it's written Samsung, obviously. Yeah, Android. If it's messed up. No, I mean, sorry. I'm an iPhone fan, so that's why I said that. But yeah, there you go, Android. Okay. And copy image. So there will be Android devices there as well, right? And then there would be tablets. Okay, yeah, so tablets are there as well. Android tablets. Anyway, let's just get a bit more picture so I could start or keep using it in my diagrams. Okay, so what we were talking about here, when a user says that, hey, I'm a new employee here and I want BYOD, so I'm bringing my own device, and please can you deploy company applications to this? So that would be, you would then say that, okay, go to the App Store or Play Store. So iOS has App Store, right? And Android has Play Store. So go there and deploy the application called Company Portal App. You have to have this application first, so deploy that. Please download Company Portal App. That's what we tell the new user. So you will be telling the new user do that, and that's for both App Store and Play Store. Then what happens? Then we say that just simply now log in from your Azure AD user account uh, to this app, and this happens to both here. And then what happens is now this user account, is actually added to a security group. So this user account is supposed to be added to a security group. And then, okay, I'm still going different colors. This security group is supposed to be added to Intune compliance policy and Intune configuration profiles is supposed to be added to Intune compliance policy. The compliance policy, Intune configuration profiles, and endpoint baselines. Well, at least Intune compliance policy and configuration profiles is a must. Endpoint baseline is some extra security, right? Much more extra security, right? So you have to really, so Intune configuration profiles and endpoint baselines. Now this account is supposed to be added to a security group. This security group is supposed to be added to employees. So this means that as soon as the user logs in from company portal app, okay, so let me just type that too. The company, that's not actually new. That's just that color again, uh, purple. Okay, so the company portal app is it connects us, or connects the user and device to Intune, and requests slash pulls all the policies and profiles to the device. So that's exactly what it does. If the font is too big, so I'll just make it smaller. Oh, that's too small. Okay, but that's what it does. Um, So the company portal app connects the user and device to Intune, and request pulls all the policies and profiles to the device. So that's the whole process of a new employee joining, right? So I'll be then putting the process here. So this is, you go to App Store of this dude here, and you go to the App Store of Play Store, App Store, and Play Store. You download this, right? And then you go you tell the user to log in. But before you tell that, you must have already configured all the Intune compliance policies properly, Intune configuration profiles properly, and endpoint baseline. So this should have been done way before, right? And then security groups should have been created um, for compliance policy, Intune configuration profiles, and endpoint baselines. And all you need to do is, whenever a new user comes in, he or she has to download company portal app and simply log in. That's it. The rest of the stuff happens automatically. That's the beauty of it, right? So you have to configure the whole thing before, and then it just simply works. So there you would see all that, right? So it goes there, and then now this is what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to be creating the whole environment, and then we're going to be configuring Intune compliance policy, Intune configuration profiles, and then endpoint baselines as well. And we haven't, then obviously after that, we're going to be going through apps as well, an app side of it. But this is going to be interesting enough already, or tough enough already, right? So this is one diagram, and I'll just put it there, that what is the end user experience with what happens. And yeah, I forgot to mention one thing more. So um, not only added to Intune compliance policy, Intune encryption profiles, and endpoints. So all kind of security and compliance policies, not only those are pushed, but also whichever app the user is supposed to have. So all apps like MS Office, right? Adobe Reader, Adobe, and WinZip for compression, not WinZip, Adobe, and there were some more applications there. Like MS Office is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Chrome, so etc. Right? So it's gonna push applications at the same time automatically. Everything's automatic because you would have configured it properly already. Uh, this company portal app is the one stop for the user to check, hey, I want to download some more company apps, and he or she will go to app, cell phones company portal app, and then would download any apps from there. So this is the app store as well. Where is it? Okay, anyway, yeah. So this is the diagram I wanted to share. So I'm just gonna put that here, and I'll put end user experience. I'll just call it end user experience with Intune, and that is BYOD experience. BYOD or company provided cell phones, it's pretty much the same thing, right? So I'll just put it here as well. Oh, lost the picture. Oh, it does not copy there. Okay. In WebEx chat, it didn't copy that. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go for company app portal. Because of this, I had to create and add this one as well, because obviously this is going to really show what's going on. So, and end user experience, I'll just copy this here. Now, so that is one app that you will be downloading, and you can actually have an automated push uh, of that app to all the devices. And this app really uh, makes sure that everything is, pulled or not. So this means that if you have joined a company, then you would be if you have joined a company, then you would be deploying this app to all. I just wanted to make one more diagram here, and that is uh, this guy here, a company portal app, right? So images of that. Yep, that's it. The company portal app. Copy image. And this is company portal app, but this is the logo for that. Okay, this also explains that. Yeah. So this company portal app would be the one that you would be copying. Why is it so vague? And actually, this also shows in LinkedIn that. So this is a logo for the company portal app, and it simply requests. It simply pushes. So pull request, it just asks for this app uh, does a regular pull request uh, to pull to download latest security and compliance policies. So you really, really need to configure this mechanism that this app is first pushed to your all devices. So company portal app must be pushed to all company devices and BYOD. So BYOD, same thing. You have to you bring your own cell phone. Please first download this app and then log in from your company credentials, username, password. And if that username password is added to the security group, which in turn is added to secure to compliance policies, configuration profiles, endpoint baselines, then everything will be and the apps, whichever apps you're supposed to have. So everything will start getting pushed automatically, right? So when you talk about company portal app, it is one of the most important ones in the in Intune setup. This is one of the most important ones, right? O and K. So if I go there, I'll just put company portal app. We were talking about that, so we should know very clearly that this company portal app, how important it is. Okay, and yep. Okay, now if we go ahead, so integrates with mobile threat defense services. So that's where I was saying that its partnership with Microsoft Defender is amazing. And Microsoft Defender has long list of security tools for all kind of scenarios, security threats, all kinds of security threats and scenarios. So Intune and Defender. Intune pushes anything and everything, or removes anything and everything, or modifies anything or everything on across devices, and Defender gives those tools and to be pushed. So that's why it's a very good combination of protecting your mobile devices. So mobile threat defense integration with Intune. This is really something very, very important. I mean, right now when I was talking, I was telling you that I'm in contact with my junior admin and my boss as well, because one employee, she downloaded something and it could be a malware. So we're investigating while I'm doing a class. So well, so yeah, that is something. In cell phones, we download everything and anything, whatever we think is, oh yeah, it's interesting. So we can't let users do that when it's company devices, obviously not at all. But when it's personal devices, we have to keep eye on who is installing some risky apps in his or her cell phone that is going to be a threat to our office data. So if the employees want the luxury of having one phone to maintain and manage and check their personal stuff as well as office stuff, so they better be taking some kind of responsibility, right? They can't just download anything and everything they like. They have to be cautious because office data, critical data, is also in their phone. So you have to put some kind of security mechanisms in the user's BYOD or bring your own device. So their own device as well. You have to put something really secure, right? So Bakar says in the chat, can we restrict personal devices so user cannot download? Well, we can't. I mean, like we shouldn't be, because if user is unable to download at all, then this service of BYOD has no meaning then, if they are not independent enough to do what they want on the personal side of the cell phone. But at the same time, it has to be, our office data has to be very, very secure as well. And I'm going to show you when we are deploying those on a BYOD. So how do we set it up and what kind of securities are already there? And but the thing is, can we block download? Yes, there are only the office data side we can block download as well, while not affecting the personal side of the BYOD. We can do that. But yeah, I saw that feature, but I didn't test it because yeah, they should be able to download. Otherwise, a BYOD purpose would be lost if somehow the block download actually blocks them from downloading their personal stuff as well. So connector status, yeah, actually I wanted to data that Intune collects from mobile threat defense. So mobile threat defense, or MTD, this is crucial, but does it interfere in users' personal files and apps? It should not, and it does not. But if it catches some user's personal file having malware, obviously it's gonna take action. And that is some extra security for you as well, for us as personal users as well, that hey, we're not gonna be so irresponsible. It's not irresponsible. You're downloading something that is legit. You think this is legit, and actually it has a malware. Once you download, yes, rely on the uh, Microsoft Defender security then, right? And if it's cleaning up your personal side as well, it's actually a good thing. So Microsoft Defender for endpoint, this is something that we need to enforce in our company. This is high time we do that because one employee keeps getting in trouble because of that. So, okay, we're going to be talking about how to really defend the devices. One more thing, I'm going to share a picture with you of this. I'm going to my cell phone right now. and I'm going to my cell phone right now, and I'm going to show you what I've downloaded from Intune, or actually Defender. So Defender, yeah, Microsoft Defender. Let me just show you. I'm going to share that picture in my WhatsApp group. So Microsoft Defender, I have downloaded directly, and it has my. I'm logged in from it from my Office credentials. Obviously, those credentials are not showing here, but see the picture in the WhatsApp now. Microsoft Defender. So it scans all my since it's now on WhatsApp, I can actually copy from there as well and show here. So the Microsoft Defender in my cell phone, Microsoft Defender working in my cell phone with company credentials, right? Credentials. Credentials. So it's this picture, and you can see that, yeah. So it shows, maybe this is much more clearer. Yeah. So you can see that web protection, 16K plus links scanned in the last 24 hours, 16,000 links. And iOS update is available. Okay, so it tells me that. So this is uh, basic. Scanning is going on, but all the Microsoft Defender tools are at work. If obviously there's a threat, it's gonna alert me, and it's going to actually remove that threat because Microsoft Defender has antivirus as well, obviously. So, okay, so Fauzi says in the chat, isn't it better to keep both personal and office use devices separate? Yes, it is better, but it's annoyance that users have to maintain two cell phones, and suppose one cell phone is lost because there are two. Because when we're walking, I mean, there's so much in the pocket, and so there are more chances. But it's pretty annoying for majority of the users that, oh, I'm gonna maintain two cell phones. No, can I just check my cell phone? So that's why BYOD concept came like a couple of years ago. It's also an old concept actually. So but it's very secure that you have office data encrypted, totally encrypted in your cell phone when it is deployed, while your cell phone data is not touched. So it's pretty secure. And if you need to do a remote wipe, remotely you want to remove something, so only Office apps data gets removed right away. It really works. We're doing that, and many companies are doing that. But yes, if we restrict users to have two phones, that would be a burden on the user, and we don't want users to be disgruntled or always angry, and it could lead to unproductivity and mistakes. But yeah, I keep two cell phones. I have my separate the thing I'm doing, I'm a bit more reckless. I have a separate cell phone given by office, but I still have BYOD as well. So in my personal cell phone also, I have office data. So because I just check my personal cell phone, second cell phone is as a backup. Second thing, it is having a lot of other office information that I really need, that I don't want to put in my personal cell phone. But basic communication, Teams and Outlook, that's it. Two things I still have in my um, personal cell phone as well. So both BYOD and separate office devices there. But this is just me. Many don't want in the office two devices. Okay, so here, cool. And so this is something, Microsoft Defender. If you have Defender subscription in Office, at least download it, right? And if you have BYOD scenario, right? So you should download that right away, right? When Office is providing Defender, why don't you just use it, right? So I used it. I showed it to my director, and then I told her that, hey, we must have this in all the users' devices who have BYOD plan or who have been given Office devices. We must deploy that. So I'm just nowadays I'm checking how to deploy this Microsoft Defender, how to push that from Intune, because we still have to check how to do that. And I'll just put it in the company portal app, and from there it should be pushed as a required stuff. So you can actually require the software to be pushed, or you can put it optional. So optional means user has to go to Microsoft Defender app, user has to go here, and then user can select which app to, oh, this app, this app, this app, or this app. Oh, not this app for now, but this app. So user can check apps from company portal app, right? Or if you go for required, then all of this will be installed forcefully. You can do a forceful installation, or you can put optional. So that's also a very good feature here in company portal app. Okay, so this is Microsoft Defender working in my cell phone with company credentials. So if I go for that, okay, yeah. Now let's go ahead and when we say some key features, yeah, we talked about that, and I'm gonna move ahead a little. Oh, the birds have been released. No, in my house. So they're gonna be sitting on my head now. Okay, you use a web-based admin center that focuses on endpoint management. Yes, so we're going to be going through, obviously it's web-based, so we're going to be logging in from our Office 365 and or M365, and then we're going to go for endpoint management, which is going to be our Intune, and we're going to be checking what else to be enabling where to enable the full Microsoft Intune features. Right, so we're going to be going to web app. The Microsoft Intune suite offers advanced endpoint management and security. The suite has optional add-on features, including remote help. Oh, man, seriously. We haven't used it. It says it's there, but we had to ultimately go for TeamViewer, but I forgot that. What did we not like about the built-in remote help of Intune? Because it's gonna leverage, either RDP, remote desktop. I mean, a user is at home, so we can't use remote desktop, right? Well, it is not that secure unless you have more secure features enabled with it. So endpoint privilege management, we're going to check that. Microsoft Tunnel for MAM, mobile application management, and more, right? So we're going to check advanced security features of Intune. Actually, basic ones will be overwhelming. So we're going to go for one. So now, yeah, these are many of the features, but there's still some part of history that we haven't really talked about, and that is privilege management. Rafael says in the chat, what is privilege management? And that is endpoint privilege management. So that is obviously who gets what kind of privileges within the OS, within the device. So does the end user gets local administrator privilege on the device, um, or power user privilege, etc. Right? So, and definitely we're not going to give any end user power to locally change options of the company device. So we can't do that. In fact, our company feature here, our company policy here is that none of the users will have, and it's pretty much in every company, that end users cannot download any software, cannot install any software. They have to ask for admin level 1 desktop support help. So they could just use that privileged account to download and install the software for the user, but user is not given local admin privileges. So yeah, if they want to ask for a code, Rafael says in the chat, ask for a code. No, developers have different policies. If it's a normal end user using MS Office and regular apps, So that user is not supposed to be given any other privileges, but there are separate policies, more, um, you know, lenient, we can say, more lenient. So, or we can say not strict, because developers use applications that Visual Studio suppose, and any other application that requires local admin privileges. So, there are separate policies for developer machines because they need to reinstall a lot of applications there. So, that's something we have to take into account. End users with just MS Office use and no requirement of more bigger applications, they're not given any local privilege. So we manage that privilege. An example of that would be that we can push an Intune policy that there will be no local admin account created in any endpoint device. What does that mean? That, normally what we admins do, we create some local admin account. So in emergency, we can log in to that account, right? And manage the device. So in our company, we have even removed that because um, if there is a local admin account in Windows 11 uh, in all company end user devices, uh, devices, and a hacker gets into that account, then the device will be compromised, right? So this is something that, well, in our company, we don't allow even a local admin account because it was useful for admins. Now we have to go another way just to, um, manage the devices. But no local admin account is there, so no possibility of an attack, right? Or gaining credentials. Even if the end user's credentials are attained, so that end user has no privileges at all. And there's no local admin account. We have removed through Intune uh, already. So that's interesting. There are many strict security policies that can be implemented easily throughout all the devices. So that said, we're going to now go for some kind of configuration. I was also, yeah, creating this. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna talk about a bit of history as well, and you should know that because when you join a company, you will face that firsthand. So there is MECM. This is also another Microsoft Configuration Manager documentation, Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager. But what is it about? Overview of Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager. Many companies have that too. Okay, so Kamraj says in the chat, any used iPhone, Android available for sale? Oh, okay. Hey guys, Kamraj wants to use some used and cell phones. So if anyone has that, um, then you want to sell it or you want to give it to him, then yeah. So Kamraj, you can also put it in the group, the two groups, the job group as well as the other groups, and anyone might come up and check that, right? Okay, but guys, if you have any used iOS or Android, then let him know. Okay, guys, so we're talking about overview of Microsoft and what is Endpoint Configuration Manager, and what is Configuration Manager, and what is SCCM. right? So these are some of the terms that are, I'm just going to quickly explain, because if you are going to talk about Intune, you will get that question. You will have to face that question. Oh, did you manage, did you ever worked on SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager? Or did you ever worked on MECM? So that is a combination of Intune and Configuration Manager, right? So you need to know the terminology for that too. So what is that configuration manager? As we were talking about the branch here, 10K users and laptops. So you would be deploying here SCCM. So you would go for an application deployment. So you would deploy a machine, and that machine would have SCCM. Now, what is SCCM? This is System Center Configuration Manager. What does it do? So, Systems Center Configuration Manager. And what does it do? So, it is actually the on-premises version of Intune, right? But it does a lot more than what we can do from Intune. It is on premises, so it has fast network, right? That's the advantage for it. So suppose you have a Toronto branch here and Toronto branch. Uh, okay, here. And you have deployed SCCM here. So it does pretty much what we talked about that Intune does, right? So you want to deploy applications. You want to actually, it starts with the heavy duty stuff. So you want to deploy OS images over the network to thousands of machines. Suppose you are creating a new branch with 10,000 users, and uh, it will have 10,000 desktops there or laptops there, right? So 10,000 desktops, empty desktops were purchased. They were connected to the network. So let me just actually create that too. So OS images over the network to thousands of machines. Okay, so um, suppose we need to deploy Windows 11 to 1,000 machines. So you will first deploy it in one desktop, and then now then take an image of that desktop. Once you have perfectly deployed everything inside, then you take an image of that, and then you upload that image. So there's that template machine here. This is the template machine. Template machine. You install here OS and apps, OS, and then updates. You do security hardening. You're gonna face all that. You're gonna see all that, or you're gonna have to explain all that as well. So if we go for this, so there's updates, there's security hardening here, and yeah, security hardening. You install MS Office, antivirus, Reader, Adobe Reader, etc., etc., right? And then once this is all done, uh, then you once it is a perfect installation, then we take image of this machine and upload it to SCCM. And in SCCM, we actually create package for that. Okay, we're going to be deploying this image to thousands of devices. And what's the logic of that? Deploying image to thousands of devices, right? So what's the logic about that? Uh, Either you go to each and every device and install that Windows 11 first, and suppose you have lots of machines here. So I'm just gonna quickly go for machines. Oh man, seriously. Okay, so you go for laptops and images. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Just give me. So you go for laptops here. Okay, so yeah, lots of laptops here, and then though these are all connected to network, right? And you have once they are connected to network, empty laptops. You start the empty laptops, connect to the network, and they discover DHCP because of a feature called PXE boot, right? PXE boot, pre-boot execution environment. So their network is supposed to search for a DHCP. And then it says, hey, we are an empty laptops or desktops, and we need an IP address, Mr. DHCP. The DHCP says, oh, okay, you need an IP address. There you go. Here's an IP address, and here's an IP address, right? So 1,000 machines get their IP addresses. Once they are over the network, they're empty, no operating system inside, but they get an IP address. They are over the network. Now you get to push the image to the machines in one go, and 1,000 machines, which could have taken weeks to install all the operating system, takes like a few hours, and all the machines are set up with whatever you set up here, right? So SCCM was and it still is the perfect solution for deploying images to thousands of machines. And then obviously, if you can deploy images and when they restart, it's a perfect working machine with all this what you configured here, right? But there, not only this, then SCCM can deploy obviously apps. And there's another very big thing that it does, very important thing that is this app deployment is one. But one more thing that it does is migration. Wow. And that's where the companies really pay pretty high to those who are able to do migrations from. So what it does is SCCM simply um, picks up. Suppose this is the laptop with Windows Win 7, and this is Win 11. It's going to be there. So it picks up all the user environment from Windows 7 to SCCM server, and first it deploys the latest operating system, Windows 11. The image with all everything basically really required installed, and then it puts the users backed up files here. So it picks up from here and it puts there after once the Windows 11 and all the applications are in place, then it picks up there. So imagine that you don't have to touch the machines and you're actually migrating thousands of machines this way. So that's pretty cool. And what SCCM could do because it has a fast network, it has LAN, it's on a local network, it's not on cloud. In cloud, you can't really do migrations. You can't really deploy OS images to thousands of machines from cloud because it's WAN. Over the internet, it's pretty slow and the image is pretty heavy. So because of its local area network, LAN, you're able to do this, right? Um, so this is SCCM, and then it deploys applications. It does whatever Intune we talked about that. Modified anything, deploy Chrome, and then patch. So patching is obviously one of the main things. Intune also does that. App deployment Intune does as well. Migrations is what Intune does not do, and that's where on-premises solution of SCCM or System Sensor Configuration Manager can do. There is that SCCM, and then there is MECM that I was talking to you about, right? So MECM then is that you have Intune in cloud, and you have SCCM on premises, and they are both collaborating with each other. Okay. So here, you are letting, whatever configurations are there. Suppose there's patching done here on premises on Windows 11 devices. So from Intune, there are other branches across the planet where you want to do the same thing. So the same package you can just upload there in Intune and deploy it in Germany or in France. Maybe you have branches there in England. So and while in Toronto, you had updated the same thing here. Maybe there was a Microsoft patch. Maybe there was a iPhone, Apple patch. Maybe there was a VMware patch, and you need to deploy it in thousands of virtual machines or devices. So SCCM did it in the branch, and then that could be uploaded to Intune, and Intune will do that on other branches across the planet, right? If SCCM is not there in those branches. So MECM will just simply, the two giants will work together then. So SCCM's cloud version is Intune, and it can do everything except for heavy lifting, because heavy lifting or heavy OS images cannot be deployed over the cloud because cloud is slow, right? So that would be then MECM, where two giants work together. The MECM, where on-prem and cloud MDMs work together. So it becomes very powerful. Companies, those who have big hybrid infrastructure, like lots of workload in the cloud and lots of workload on premises still. So they would really love your skills on premises as well as cloud, right? So SCCM is tough. Um, you have to create a package, and there I have created a very old class on that where SCCM we deployed SCCM 2012 actually. Now I think SCCM 22 is there. I'm not sure, but SCCM latest additions. So updates and servicing. So we have what's new in SCCM 2023 as well. So SCCM 2022 may be there then. So also use a baseline version to upgrade from SCCM. So I have a class for this, SCCM 2012, which does explain the basic concepts of how it works. And yeah, so supported versions are there, October 2024 support end date. Ouch. So it's going to be ending for this as well. And I'm just checking where is historical versions. Yeah, so there is 1806. So 2023 is this is a new version, but they're not really saying which one. Hey, is SCCM 2022 there? Actually, there was a question there. Let me just go directly to that question. What is the latest version of SCCM 2023? Version 2023 is globally available for all customers. Okay, so there is SCCM 2023 called 2303. So the latest version of SCCM is still there. This means that, oh wow, this guy. Okay, yeah, guys, this Anup Nair, amazing guy. So this site is very well recommended for anything SCCM and Intune. Intune, there are hundreds of sites, right? So recommended must visit site for SCCM, which is on-prem MDM solution by Microsoft. And this is it. So this Anup Nair guy, this guy was a big help. There were many other sites that I took help from, but this was also a major, help that I got from this guy Anup Nair. He creates very step-by-step labs, and obviously, when you start following, not everything works as is shown in the picture. You have to troubleshoot a lot and create your own lab. And but he makes very good effort in configuring and explaining the configurations because it's tough, And if you're doing tough things, obviously you're getting big money as well, because they would find very less engineers to do that. So yeah, this is very recommended. Save it in your arsenal of good sites, hands-on sites, basically. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it here as well. Recommended. Okay.
It's a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of work to set it up. I've done it before.
Oh man, SCCM, man. Oh.
A lot of work.
Yeah,
A lot.
it's a lot of work. But well, if anyone wants to get an idea, you can always access SCCM 2012. It's old, but it gives you a very good idea about how much work are we talking about. But if you have an idea
A
and some
lot.
terminology practice, yes, that's very good to go for as well. I wish I could plan something on premises for Intune and Exchange, but that's a lot of work. So anyway, we're gonna be now going for the lab. So guys, obviously we were explaining about the history and everything, but the tougher parts or the more interestinger part starts now, and that is the lab itself, how we're gonna configure the lab, some details about that, and Intune lab. So what you really need, and what is required. So this all after these messages. Oh, oh, okay, yeah. You know what this means. This means break. Let's take a break and come back after the break for lab configurations. And classes starts 11:52, 12:50, 12:03, 12:13. Okay, so 12:13. Let's connect at 12:13-ish. Okay, so we're gonna talk about lab. The recording, and yeah, so let's go for the lab. And what we're gonna do with the lab is that we're going to configure our environment. I'm just gonna connect with our environment. And all right, what is Intune? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So first thing is that we're gonna go to our admin center. So I'm clicking the admin center. I just wanted to show you some places. Also, um, we're going to go for some on-premises configurations as well, because we need to test the devices, and we need to test the policies on a Windows platform, right? And obviously other cell phone devices as well. So what we will need is obviously first your have you opened an account in the free 3-month developer account? Did you open that? If not, then let me know, and I'll send you the video, and you can just follow that to open a free trial developer account where you can work. So I'm just going to go down to this admin center here, and then I'm going to click show all. And in the show all, now we have gone already through identity, then we have gone through exchange. Now we're going for this endpoint manager. So it's not exactly called Intune. Intune was separate product before, but now it's considered as endpoint manager, right? So there If we go for, okay, I'll just remove that. Okay, settings here. So here, I'm going to click Endpoint Manager. In the Endpoint Manager, you will see a lot of controls here, a lot of sections here. So there is home that we are connected to. And in this environment, we haven't configured Intune before. So this is the first time I'm opening this Endpoint Manager, which actually then is Microsoft Intune Admin Center, right? So I don't know why they are still just not calling it Intune, because this is what MDM, Microsoft MDM is famous for. But yeah, it's a Microsoft Intune Admin Center. Here at the home button, you can see Intune add-ons that we can add here for iOS and Android, right? Okay, yeah, okay. So, well, dashboard is always the first stop, and as we configure the whole admin center, then more dashboards starts appearing here with reports. There will be, widgets here, more widgets here. Now this dashboard here, we can create new dashboards here as well. Device enrollment. Okay, no Intune enrollment failure last 7 days. Actually, we did not enroll any device there, but still, with Azure Active Directory, I may have enrolled any. So I'm just gonna click that devices here, overall, and I see here 0000. If I go for all devices here, so we're going to be enrolling devices, and I'm going to show you how to enroll devices as well. Okay, so here I'm going to go to dashboard again, and there's device configuration. So we haven't created any policies or configuration profiles or endpoint baselines yet. So there is all green means also means nothing configured yet. So, but these are the widgets or dashboards that we should be used to seeing when we log in. All services when we go about that. So then you can see that we can deploy. So there's a full apps section here, and devices section, endpoint security, groups, surface management portal. So this is dedicated to Surface, Microsoft's hardware, Microsoft's laptop, the Surface laptop. Then there's tenant-wide management that we need to do to initially configure as well. And okay, so um, and then users and troubleshooting plus Intune plus support. Now, how do we configure the whole environment? We're going to be talking about that here. I'm going to line up some of the prerequisites now, so we could then follow those if you're following. Otherwise, you can just do it after watching the video. I'm going to put some of these. Okay, actually, on the left side, I'm copying. The prerequisites, and I'm going to put here now. So our Intune lab, there are things that I will be editing here as well. But things that we have done already is let's create a new E5 M365 user account. That is developer user account. Um, Trial for actually 3 months. Okay. We will go to Azure licenses and add Microsoft Enterprise Mobility. Now, this is something that we need to do. That is, we're going to go to licenses, and we need to enable this license of enterprise mobility, right? That enterprise mobility will give us all the Intune features or enable or activate all the Intune features. So that's one thing we need to do. And then let's create 5. Actually, we have lots of users already. So if there are no users created, then create 5 users. But in developer account, they do create like 15 users, sample users already, by the name of user 01, user 02, etc. Right? Okay, so let's also download and install VMware Workstation trial for 30 days, then ahem. Okay, some of you don't know that, but after trial, you need a key, right? Now I can say ahem ahem. Or you can go for Oracle VirtualBox, which is free. VMware Workstation is preferred. So I have VMware Workstation installed already. But if you don't have that file, let me know. It's just you create a free account in vmware.com and go to the trial version, trial area, and then just simply download the VMware Workstation latest one. It will be 16 or 17. Download from Microsoft website the latest Windows 10 Pro, Windows 2022 Server. Okay, now guys, we need to install Windows 10 or 11. Actually, we had that from Exchange server as well, but I need to show you some of the Intune processes, right? When it comes to Windows 10 Pro, and it's about end user mostly, right? We're talking about. So we don't really need Windows Server 2022 because you're going to be handling end user endpoint devices, right? So that's where it's excuse me. We have to have some kind of process here. So now let me talk about the end user process, and why we need to install a new Windows for that. Because from previous Exchange apps, we have a Windows 10 or Windows 11, right? But we need new, and why? End point device initial configuration, initial enrollment, we can say, enrollment with Intune, right? So endpoint device initial enrollment with Intune. What happens is we must have the following configurations in place before excuse me, we introduce device, a new device was to be enrolled into. Enrolled where? First, you need to make sure that it is enrolled into Azure AD, and then automatically to Intune. So this means that some of the things must be configured before we start introducing devices to Intune. So excuse me, check Azure AD if the option for no automatically add any device in device registered in Azure AD to Intune. So we need to check that the option is not exactly worded like that, but this option we need to check because as soon as the Azure AD registers a device, it could be iPhone, it could be Android, it could be Windows or Mac. So as soon as it's registered with Azure AD, it should get registered to Intune automatically. There should be no manual process for Intune enrollment of the device. And for that, we need to have this option enabled. Then check or make sure that compliance, at least one compliance policy is configured. Make sure that at least one configuration profile, and that's a big one, configuration profile is configured, right? Configured. And optional. Um, Optional is make sure that um, required endpoint security baselines are configured. So that's optional. I mean, like it's not compulsory that the device that gets enrolled into Intune must have this policy deployed as well. But compliance policy and configuration profile has to be there, right? Excuse me. In the end, okay, so that's if these things are enabled, then we can say that okay, we're basic structure of Intune is ready. Where so yeah, I'm going to show the diagrammatic, uh, effect of that too, and so the device gets what's this? Oh, there's. I'll grab. Oh, I not put a laptop in the picture. Seriously. Okay. I'll just quickly put that laptop here so I could use that and you can imagine a bit more easily what am I talking about. So, okay. Laptops, grab some. Okay, so as soon as the laptop is, oh, what was that? Okay. So a laptop is introduced here, and now it is having Windows 11, right, or Windows 10. So Windows 10/11. Now this laptop, you're going to be logging in from um, the end user. So log in, format the install the Windows for the first time. Install the Windows for the first time, right? Um, as soon as it reaches the admin and when it reaches um, for credentials screen, right? Reaches credential screen. Then what you need to do is you need to log in from the actual end user, right? So log in from end user. So that's uh, one, that's two, right? Log in from end user. And then this end user must be added to the security groups, um, which are I mentioned that before as well, connected to security, so compliance policy, and configuration profiles. So we're going to be creating that, right? But so this end user must be connected. Now, once that is set, so we're going to be slowly configuring all that now. Okay, what happened here? Okay. So we're going to be creating that security group. We're going to be adding the users that will be Intune users to the security group. And obviously, so if it's already added to the security group, so that is point 3, right? Now, as soon as the install the Windows for first credentials, when it reaches the credential screen, this so login from the end user. Actually, that would be the press screen. Then log in from the end user account. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so then log in from the end user account. This end user must be already added to the security group. So you have to have security groups before created. You have to have the compliance policy and conversion profile before we introduce that machine, right? So this work must have been done already. Now what happens to the as soon as the user logs in who is already added to the security group, which when that security group is added to the policies, so what happens is the policy starts kicking in. What happens is as soon as the user logs in, so as soon as the user logs in, then the device registers with Azure Ready, first stage, right? Okay, and then so that's point 4. Um, and then what happens is that the device automatically gets registered to Intune. It's the next stage. Right? That's point 5. And then what happens is that um, compliance policy kicks in. So configuration profile kicks in later. First compliance policy kicks in. Right? So that would be 6. And then what happens is that configuration profile kicks in. The second thing that kicks in after compliance policy. And all the configuration profile settings are implemented, and we're going to obviously explore all that. What are those settings? 7. And then if we have configured the endpoint, so then endpoint security baselines again, right? So it keeps going. Endpoint security baselines again as well, right? So obviously all the setup has to be configured if we are expecting it to kick in. Um, and that stuff would be very important to you know to be properly configured. Now this means that our lab steps would be in light of this process. Our lab steps have to be coinciding with that and how we do this. So that's just the lab steps. Okay. How device gets enrolled to Intune. All right. Now, here, okay. Now, here we get that the lab steps, right? So, what we need to configure in light of the initial, can say initial experience of enrolling the device into Intune. For that, we need to, okay, thank you. I'm being prompted to restart my laptop to receive updates. I will do that now. Okay, sure. So guys, yeah, my company CEO, she had issue with the device. Okay, so let's also download VMware. So do we have VMware workstation? We're gonna check that. Also, we need to install Windows, but we cannot log into it unless the whole Intune enrollment steps are configured. Create a domain and join Windows 10 to domain. Actually, this is something we don't need. We're gonna be adding the Intune directly to Azure 80. It's going to be a cloud pure cloud environment. Windows 10s, one join to local domain, so two Windows 10 um, join to Azure 80, join to Azure 80, cloud Azure Active Directory, internet only, intro, the endpoint manager features. Okay, so now if we have decided that it's going to be, you know, these policies need to be implemented, so we have to configure all that. And already have Windows 11, Fausia says on the chat, installed. So what's next? Oh, that's good. Oh, no, it's a problem, Fausia. And we need to reinstall Windows. I want to show the, you know, steps from scratch. And in order to do that, we have to configure the whole cloud environment first. Then we need to actually reinstall Windows. So I could show you the automation steps. Now, if you have already installed and logged in, that is, I mean, it can still be done from that, but it's better to see the environment in action from scratch. So, and that can only be shown with a new installation. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now, what we're going to do is, according to these steps, and I'll just put it on the other screen as well. So I'm going to devise the lab steps here. Let's go to our Intune environment and try to check that what are the configurations we need to do. So the first step would be Microsoft Enterprise Mobility and Security License. We need to configure that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can also, those who are following can join and doing that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Firefox. Here, I'll go to Admin Center because I don't, Azure Active Directory, I need to go there, right? So I'm going to go to Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and I'm going to go to Identity. It used to be Azure 80 written there. Now it's going to be IDEN So identity. So I'm just going to click the identity here, and it's opening now. And every time they make a change, so it's kind of not the same majority of the time. So what I'm going to do is I am actually looking for this option, licenses at Microsoft Enterprise Mobility and Security. So where's that? So I'm going to go for where the licenses are, and they have put everything upside down. I've clicked show more here, and in the billing there is I, SEN, and SIS. I'm just going to go for licenses. First, you have to click show more, then click billing, then licenses. In the licenses, I'm going to go for all products. Yeah, that one is not added. So I'm going to go for try/buy. Let's go for try/buy. And here, enterprise mobility plus security. This is the license we need. It also enables So Enterprise Mobility Plus Security E5 is a comprehensive cloud solution to address your consumerization of IT, BYOD, and SaaS challenges. In addition to Microsoft Entra ID E2, so that is Azure Active Directory Premium 2, which releases all the advanced features of Active Directory, and it is a must-have for any company for security. So in addition to Microsoft Entra ID or Azure Active Directory P2, the suite includes Microsoft Intune and Azure Rights Management. Very, very important feature. So I'm going to go for free trial. I'm going to expand that, and there's the activate here. So provides a comprehensive solution enabling you to effectively manage devices, identity, and access in your organization. The suite includes Microsoft Intune as well as E2, P2. Yeah. The trial includes 250 licenses and will be active for 90 days. So that's good. 90 days. 90. Right. So, beginning on the activation date, if you wish to upgrade to a paid version, you will need to purchase Enterprise Mobility, blah, blah. So anyway, yeah, you get 90 days. Activate. Let's go ahead and activate. I'm just going to activate that. And once it is activated, we're going to go for the next object and objective. So it should be activated and showing here. I'll click somewhere else and then click back and click somewhere else and click back and click somewhere else and click back. And there you go. It's still not there. Okay, fresh. And now it is there. Okay, so make sure it is showing here. And it hasn't been assigned yet, but we're going to be assigning that. Okay, so one thing is done. Let's go for the next one. This is, oh, it's bad. All right. Now we created already all the users. Okay, let's download VMware Workstation. Actually, okay, so make sure that you have a Windows 10 Pro. And I wish I had put the links here, but now I have to put the links again. So what we need to download is VMware Workstation. If you don't already have it, I think majority of you have it, or maybe all of you have it. Those who are following have it at least. Or doing the lab with me. If that's the case, then I don't have to. If anyone wants to have the link, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. To Windows 10, join to Azure AD. Now, Intune has a lot of policies, and that we need to check. Sometimes the policies don't get implemented, so we need to then deploy to Windows 10 or Windows 11s. Now that is something. In fact, how about we go for one Windows 10 and one Windows 11? That'd be better because it's a bit different. Actually, Windows 10 and 11, the policies are pretty much going to be applying the same, but the environment is a bit different. So what we can do is now I'm going to provide you the Windows 10 Pro and 11 Pro links, and they're going to be also available for 90 days. So download from Microsoft website, latest Windows 10 Pro and Windows 11 Pro. As we have a mix of Windows 10 and 11 in our office, and there are some differences that I want to show there. We just need the client operating system because pretty much everything is on the client. Now I'll just quickly provide the links for the client. So download Windows 10 Pro and 11 Pro. I'll just make avail a and bull links. So download Windows 10 Pro. Guys, it has to be either professional or enterprise, right? It cannot be less than that. ISO. So enterprise download Windows 10 disk image ISO enterprise download. I'll copy the link. 64-bit edition. So please select your Windows 10 enterprise. Yeah, this one. So I'll put the diagram here and put the link as well. So go for this one and this one. Copy, next time, then we should have the slide. The link. I'll copy the link here as well. So this is 10 Pro, and here's the link for that. Wow, I put too much information here. Okay, so this is download Windows 10 Pro. I'll put it in WhatsApp, so you could just grab the link, and if you don't have it, then go ahead and download. Otherwise, oh, okay. Download Windows 10 Pro. So I put it there, and I'm putting it in the WebEx chat as well. So if you don't have it, Enterprise Edition especially, then go ahead and download. And also 11 Pro. So that is gonna be more help and full. Let's change 10 to 11. Is it the same screen? Yes. Oh, so there you go. And this is the 11 Pro 64-bit, right? And there it is, 11 and 64-bit add E and Shen. So let's quickly start downloading that. And the link as well. Okay, 11 Pro is this. And I'm putting it in WhatsApp, so go ahead and start downloading that. And in WebEx chat as well. Okay. Now that said, so we're gonna be downloading and installing. So I'm just gonna put it on download at least. So I'll just click that and go ahead. Maybe the download experience is also a bit lengthy, so I'm just gonna go for Windows 10 Enterprise download 64-bit. I'm gonna click the 64-bit edition, and yeah, it's downloading. Okay. Then I went gone for 11, so I'll just change the 10 to 11, and it's gonna go for so 64-bit here. I click that, and yeah, so no form to fill, and it has started down, low, and ding, low ending. Okay, so let's get going. Now this is going on, and you may start the download, and then we're gonna go for for that is done. Do Windows 10, yeah. And okay, let me just put some more steps there. Endpoint device initial configuration. So this, when I say that, it's all gonna be already available when we are ready to join the machine. So obviously we need to go there and make it available. So now, what are the lab steps for Intune lab steps to configure the Intune cloud environment? So what we can do is I'm gonna just double check some of the prereqs that I've lined up on the other side. Download to, yeah. How different devices? I think I'm gonna go next screen. Enable mobility and security, done. Create 5 users, done. Create to Windows 10 and 110, 111. Okay, we're going to be doing that. Okay, so I'm going to be lining up more of the steps now. So I'm just looking on
Sorry,
my
excuse
other
me, sir.
screen. Yeah, you're saying?
Excuse me. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry. I just want to know where I got my license to activated, but I'm just looking for where to refresh so that I can be able to see it. You did the refresh on the screen then.
Refresh
When you get
for.
when
Oh,
you get the
okay.
license activated.
Intune mobility, right? That license. Okay, let me show you. Yeah. So here, right? So how did I come here? Is that the question?
No. My question is where you click on the refresh. I've activated mine too, but I want to see it where you just click on the refresh
Oh,
button.
well, there's no refresh. I just refreshed the browser on the top.
Okay, you refresh. Okay.
Cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it should appear right away after a few seconds. Yeah, welcome. Okay, so once this is done, now there are some more configurations here, and we're going to be following all these configurations because I just copy pasted from my last class, so it's like kind of messed up. But obviously, I'm going to be explaining the whole thing. So create 5 users. We already talked about that. We're just going to remove that. Enable mobility and security license. Done. So create 5 users seriously again, and we're going to be installing 2 windows. Yes, we're good. Okay, there you go. So now we need to have create an Intune security group. So all these have to be done properly, so we could actually configure the whole thing. So we're going to be going for Windows devices group. October 22, really? So Windows devices user group. I'm going to be naming it Intune Windows devices user group. So let's create that security group now. Add 2 or 3 users to this group. In auto enroll, add a security group. Oh, yeah, this is very, very important. So first we're going to go for this. There's a lot of space here, so that makes the whole thing smaller. Okay, so we're gonna be doing this. I'll just make all the, yeah. So Fozia says in the chat, so we will download these Windows 10 and 11 on new VMs in VMware. Yeah, so you can download these both ISOs in your laptop, and then we're gonna be creating new virtual machines inside the VMware workstation and add these ISOs there. Okay. Hey, why does it look blue to me? Okay. Now, here, a security group, let's create that. So I'm just going to go to the Azure Active Directory and create the security group. Group. Okay. So it's, I am in Microsoft Admin Center. I can go to my Entra ID or Azure Active Directory, or I can just come here and create a security group here as well, right? But I'll just go for Entra Active Directory, Entra Admin or Active Directory, and go to uh, Identity, and there's users, there's groups, right? So I'm going to go to Groups and go to All Groups and create a security group. I'm just going to go for New Group here. And the group name, as we discussed in the chat, Intune group. So obviously it will be all here. So I'm gonna be just copying. I just put this whole thing in WhatsApp as well. Okay, Intune Windows Devices User Group. And I'm going to go back to where I was creating a security group. I'm going to just paste it. So the name is Intune Windows Devices User Group. And the group description, yeah, the same, or you can add some description. We're not going to be adding or giving any role to this group. So no problem here. Owners, I'm just going to click this and add myself as the owner or the administrator. I'm an admin, select. Members, we're going to be later adding some members here. So as soon as the members are added there, so we need to log in from these very members from the Windows for the first time. So the idea again is that as soon as the user logs in the first time from the Windows, the user gets registered to Azure Active Directory, and then the user gets registered to Intune, and the user gets registered to then compliance policy, configuration profile, endpoint security. It should be all automatic, right? And for that, we need to configure the whole environment. That's what we do in our company as well. In my company, so I until the junior admin did not arrive, so I was doing that. But then junior admin arrived, and then I taught him that what to do. So yeah, we just format the device when it's doing the final restart. Then it's asking for username password, and that time we have already created a username for the new hire, and we added the user to the security groups, required security groups, and that's it. So when we log in, the automated process starts enrolling the user and the device to Azure Active Directory and Intune. Okay, so we're on our way. So right now I'm not adding any user here. I'm going to click create here. And that security group called Intune is created, and I'll refresh here and refresh and refresh, right? So there you go. In Intune Windows Devices User Group. We need to remember that because now we're going to go to the Intune side. We're going to be getting introduced to different sections of Intune, and we're going to be adding groups there as well. So obviously it's in a company, when you're doing that, it's a long process, and you have to make sure that all the company required compliance policies and configuration profiles are configured properly and correct options are enabled. Okay, so the security group is done. So we can say this is done. And add 2 or 3 users to this group. Yeah, we're going to be doing that. Okay, this we didn't do, so I'm not putting it green color. In auto enroll, oh, what is this? And where is this auto enroll? So obviously this is in Intune, and what does it do? So let's go ahead and check it out. So in auto enroll, add a security group with only those users added which are currently working in the company and are Intune enabled users. There's another thing which is not a Microsoft term, but those users which are supposed to be having Intune features deployed to. So we're just referring to them as Intune enabled users. Otherwise, there's no terminology by Microsoft. I'm just using this terminology just to explain to you that Intune features will be available for these users and their devices, right? So we're going to be deciding about the users later, or can we decide now? You know what? We can decide now the users as well, because users, we're mentioning again and again the users, right? So I'm going to go back here, and I'm in the groups, and there's Intune Windows Devices User Group. I'm going to go inside the Intune Windows Devices User Group. I'm going to add the users in this as a member. then only from those users which are added here, we will log in from new Windows 10 and 11. Okay, so I'm going to go to members, and then I'm going to go to add members, and then let's go for totally new users where on whom we never implemented any policy. Okay, users. I'm going to click users on the top, so only users should come. And I hope I remember. I think on Lydia or Lynn Robbins, Megan Bowen. I'm sure we never implemented any exchange policy on them. Miriam Graham. I am sure I never did that. Any policy on this user as well. And are these users having E5 license? So anyway, we're going to be checking, but I'm going for 2 random users, which I think I haven't used in Exchange Server for any policies. So I'm going to select those. Now this means that I need to make sure that only these 2 users I'm going to be using to log in from a newly installed Windows 10 and 11. Okay, so refresh. Yeah, there you go. So these 2 users are here, Megan Bowen and Miriam Graham. So I'll just put that for a record because Megan and Miriam. Okay, 2 users I've selected. And now let's go to auto enroll. So obviously we need to get introduced to our Intune environment as well. What happens where? So we need to do that. Now let's go to auto enroll area, but before that, some introduction to Intune environment as well. So I'm just going to go back to Intune environment. You can see that its logo is this A, right? And Microsoft Azure Active Directory, which is now called Entra Admin, is this logo. So always keep an eye on and remember the icons there for which admin center as well. Oh, okay. For this in the chat, are you sure? I think Miriam was enrolled in few policies in Exchange. Really? Okay. No, I don't remember. So I'll just remove Miriam and add someone else. I'll just remove. Yes, because in exchange policies there were some restrictions as well. I don't want any surprises, so I'm just gonna go for some other Nestor Wilke. No, I don't think we implemented anything on Nestor or Simon Grad or Patty, maybe Patty, but okay, Nestor also. I'll just add Nestor then. So I'll put Nestor here. All right. And let's go to auto enroll. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's go to auto enroll. So I'm going to go here, dashboard. We were talking about dashboard, then all services here we were talking about. Then if I go to devices, so this is the area that we'll be spending a lot of time on. This is the devices area. There are overview, enrollment status, enrollment alerts, compliance status, configuration status, and software update status. How many devices we have? None. Okay. We haven't enrolled anything, but hopefully when we are 2 or 3 classes ahead, so we will have iOS, Windows, and Android devices showing here. So if you don't want to use your cell phone, then I think, well, for Android, we have emulator. For iOS, maybe I'll use my iOS phone to show. Or I think I have, yeah, actually I have one iPhone. Okay, so I will be able to show that, and I will take a lot of pictures and keep uploading there and put in the screenshots as well, so you will know the whole process. Anyway, so devices is area where we're going to be visiting a lot. All devices, if we go there, so you can search for all devices there in a company. There are long list of devices that show here with device name, managed by, ownership, compliance, OS version, primary user, last check-in. Especially this last check-in is very important. That suppose you're investigating, or if any user was logged in last time, then when did the user logged in, right? So if then there is, okay, I'll go up. There is monitor, and obviously monitor does monitoring. Uh, Okay, so but it has reports or configurational reports as well, that which devices. So this is a very pretty good area that you want to have. How many non-compliant? So I visit this one a lot. How many non-compliant devices I have, right? So this area is very important. Then Windows, you just want to see Windows devices. So this is the Windows, then iOS. So this is by platform now. This section is important. Obviously, we're going to be adding iPhone, Android here. Chrome OS preview. This is preview, but this is very, very important. Microsoft understands that what their users are mostly using, even if it's a third-party product, right? So it's not a Microsoft product, Chrome, or obviously Linux, but there's so much of that product in large companies, in all companies. Majority of our users also use Chrome. I strictly use Edge browser, Microsoft Edge browser in my company. It's a Microsoft product, and any kind of policy could be easily implemented. And Edge I found so friendly. I mean, its previous version was Internet Explorer that really was not good, but this is amazing. I mean, Edge is amazing with Intune and Microsoft products. Okay, anyway, so Chrome, I really wish they could finish this previewing and have the enterprise ready version. But really, Chrome OS, I think it's for when it says OS. So this is obviously, we're not talking about Chrome browser, we're talking about the laptop, because I once purchased a very, very slow laptop by mistake, and it had Chrome OS there. So that was well. And Linux. Anyway, so when we register our Windows, it's going to show here, right? If we go further down here, then this by enrollment. So enroll devices, when we go there, so there are, and that's where we were trying to go for auto enroll, right? So if I go for this, we're talking about now auto enroll. Okay, this is also done, so I'll just make it green as well. Now we are on in auto enroll, add a security group with only those users added which are currently. So what is auto enroll? Auto enroll, as the name says, is, well, automatic enrollment. So if we click that, before we go to click that, I mean, I needed to show the whole page because we are on the page. So how about some intro? So here, automatic enrollment is there. Configure Windows devices to enroll when they join or register with Azure Active Directory. So we are in Intune, right? So as soon as the devices join Azure Active Directory or Entra admin, so they should be automatically joining this Intune as well. So that's what we're about to configure, and this is very, very important. Windows Hello for Business, this is replace passwords with strong two-factor authentication. So Windows Hello will be coming when we are deploying our Windows, and that is if you want to put biometrics like finger prints or eye or face ID, right? You want to put that, then you can go for CNAME validation, test company domain CNAME registration for Windows enrollment. So company domain registration, you want to go for, then create some CNAME records in DNS. We don't really need that now. But if you have some official, suppose you purchase a domain from GoDaddy.com, so you want to attach that. Although we have already attached a domain here, and that domain could also be attached to the device names. Enrollment status page. So when you are doing enrollment, so it will give you the status of how many devices are enrolled successfully and how many actually failed to enroll. Enrollment notification, send email or push notifications to devices after they enroll. So you tell the devices, or you tell the user that, hey, you have been enrolled successfully. Co-management. Co-management, remember that we were talking about on-premises SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager, and in the cloud, it's cloud version Intune, right? So if they are cooperating with each other, collaborating with each other, then that is called co-management environment. So if you have that co-management settings, then yes, you can, go here and configure. Now, this diagram, at the end of the class, I then forget and delete the diagrams. And next class, when I am trying to look for it, diagrams are not there. So I'll put those diagrams here. And yeah, this I have put in. Wow, what English? Seriously. Uh, where have I put in this? Seriously. Okay, I think it would be annoying for some. So, where have I put it? Yeah, I don't want to lose any diagrams. So let me just quickly copy those diagrams here. So auto enroll. Then there's an autopilot, and that is something I recently, well, few months ago, I configured that autopilot, so I'm about to introduce that as well. But since this diagram thing is mucho importante, it's a lot of hard work, right? Okay. And what else is left? I think this one. So it's gonna be useful for you when you see this this slide as well. It's gonna be use and full. Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. And yeah, here. So this whole section is about enrolling a device in Azure, so it could be automatically attached to Intune, right? But what about autopilot? This is one level, it's the next level. So, when we are enrolling a device to Azure Active Directory and Intune, it will stop at certain stages and will require your input. But autopilot is the next level, that whatever inputs were required, if you tell autopilot, configure autopilot to, or if it asks for name of the machine, so give this name. If it asks for security configuration, so select those options. So don't stop at any place and thus go automatically and deploy everything. So this is autopilot. And that is amazing. Please do remind me to show you how to configure autopilot, although yeah, that's a lot of effort as well, but I recently did that in a project in the company, so I would be happy to share this autopilot as well. So this area is very important for our configurations. Okay, now I'm going to go to auto enrollment, where we were supposed to go. And inside the auto enrollment, do you want to, so there's MDM use scope, MDM terms of use URL, MDM discovery URL, compliance URL, and then the same for applications as well. MAM user scope, terms of use URL, discovery URL, and compliance URL, right? So do you want MDM to be enabled for all users in the company? Yes. Why not? So, and do you want the application management to be available for all users in the company? Again, why not? So I'm going to be enabling these two features here as and well. So I'm just going to click save. O and K. So then, yeah. So I'm going to go back to this slide, and this is done. So in auto enroll, add a security group. Oh, Well, yeah, so I could have gone here, some, and I could have added that security group with those two users only having the Intune features available for their devices. But I went for all because you know we're gonna although use few users, and this security group we're gonna be using in when we configure the secure compliance policy, when we configure the configuration profiles and endpoint baselines, security baselines. So this security group that we created is still useful, but here I'm enabling that this auto enrollment should be available for all the users. This means that any user who has logged in the first time to the Windows will be going through this process, right? So that's what I'm saying here. This is for every user. Or you can just create a security group and only specific users will have this. Then, okay, so that's done and saved. Then we go back here, and yeah, it's done for all. So I'll just put in notes, just select all. Intune create a autopilot deployment profile and add this security group there. Autopilot deployment profile. Yes, we do want to automate the process. So let's just visit there first. If we are really need to do that, so I'm just going to go back to enroll. In fact, oh, okay. Sorry, it was devices and then enroll devices. So I'm just on enroll devices again, and Windows Autopilot, and there's deployment profile here as well, right? So if I go to the customize the Windows Autopilot provisioning experience, which means that, as I said, that when you are getting registered, auto enrolled, so uh, what do you want, what windows you want shown, and what you want automatically done. So I'm going to click create profile here, and you can see that either you should have a Windows PC or you should have a HoloLens. So we will have Windows PC there. HoloLens is just Microsoft's advanced thing. I think it's a glass. No, it's a virtual device, virtual reality device, right? Anyway, um, HoloLens. When we are talking about it, we should. Oh, there's a HoloLens. Man, this is smart. They're checking all that, and that's how it looks like. Wow, this is amazing, right? Okay, so yeah, when you're buying one for you, then just send me as well. It's just $3,500. Okay, so yeah, here we're gonna go back and HoloLens. Yeah, so here let's create profile. Let's click Windows PC, and what does it really say? So first of all, it's autopilot profile, autopilot profile. What I was saying to that, I will show you some extra um, stuff as well. So that is still different from this one, right? So autopilot configuration, config. I'll just Control A, Control C, and put it in the description. Sometimes they require description as well. Convert all targeted devices to autopilot. Not now. Okay, because I need to show autopilot how it's properly configured. Everything I need to show later. By default, this profile can only be applied to autopilot devices synced from autopilot service. Then we are not supposed to be here. If I click next here, yeah, okay, let's still create that. But um, yeah, the autopilot is separately a bit more advanced, so I'm going to be showing that later. But right now, let's just configure with basic configurations, and I'll keep it no right now because separately I'll show the whole autopilot mechanism. Next, so it says that, hey, when your device is enrolling, what do you want it to have configured. So deployment mode is user driven or self-deploying. It's still in preview, it's not available, so it will have some kind of faults as well. We don't need to go for anything that is in preview. User driven is okay, so it's just wherever it stops for input, you just give input and it goes ahead, right? Join to Azure AD as Azure joined, Azure AD joined, or hybrid Azure AD joined. So obviously we're going to stick to Azure AD joined, but as I was saying before, suppose you have on-premises infrastructure and you actually have here a device and you have here Active Directory domain controller, right? So Active Directory installed in Windows Server, you must know, you must be very knowledgeable and confident on Active Directory. If you don't know it, go to YouTube videos and just put there what is Active Directory and make very detailed notes on what is Active Directory, because if you're stuck in that in the interview, that's embarrassing. So they will say, hey, you don't know about Active Directory? I mean, that's going to be very embarrassing. So Active Directory, you must know what it is, right? It offers AAA and also user and identity management. So just try to know that. Okay, Windows Server, it can only be installed on servers, cannot be installed on client systems. So if you have Active Directory there, so and if you have, suppose there are devices here, right? Suppose there are 5,000 devices. Laptops there, right? 5,000 Windows, right? So they are all joined to this domain, the local on-premises domain, which means that the inventory of all the devices is here in this Active Directory. It is maintained. Now, when you create Intune, so this is M365 configuration, you have Azure Active Directory there. You're in the cloud, right? So this means that this Active Directory is supposed to communicate, your Azure Active Directory is supposed to communicate with this local Active Directory. Remember that at the start of this course we configured the hybrid environment and then we installed Active Directory Connect tool, right? So that is what this is saying. If it is hybrid, hybrid means the devices, the cell phones are connected to Active Directory, and you want the Active Directory will send that information to cloud Azure Active Directory, and then from there to the Intune, that information will be sent. So if that's the case, then it is called exactly AADC, ADDC, Azure Active, no, it's AADC, yeah, Azure Active Directory Connect, exactly. So here, we're gonna stick to, exactly, so Azure AD, right? And Microsoft Software license terms, do you want to show it? You want to hide it? So that's the automation. OOBE is out of box experience. So yes, this has to be configured. I don't want to see the Microsoft license terms, so I'm going to hide that during the installation. Privacy settings, I don't want to show that too. So that will be again another input that I don't have to give, and the deployment and enrollment will keep on going. Hide change account options. Okay, so change account. You know that change button that comes below the window? I don't want to hide that, right? Suppose you want to log in from another account, but we can hide it, and only that user account will show from which the end user is supposed to log in, and will not explore the change option where you can then try to explore some local accounts. Oh, maybe he has this account, or maybe this laptop has that account. So you want to show, you want to hide, it's up to you. For just a T-shoot purpose, for this lab only, I'm doing that. Otherwise, in my company, I've put this to hide, right? Okay, user account type. It's a standard user. So no way we are giving end user an administrator privilege, right? If you select this, don't do that. But if you select this, then the end user or whoever is logging in, and obviously it's an end user, will get administrator privileges on that particular machine, and that user can do anything that user wants. We don't want that to happen. So standard user, yes, this is good. Allow pre-provisioned deployment. This is enable pressing Windows key 5 times to run OOBE without user authentication to enroll device and provision all system context apps and settings. User context apps and settings will be. So you're saying that if you press yes here, the user can deploy a new Windows image on this particular machine. Himself or herself. So we do not want user to redeploy any Windows. User is supposed to come to us, the administrators, the desktop support guys, and ask us that, can you deploy a new Windows for me? So yes, we're gonna keep it no, and we will do the redeployment of Windows, not end users. Okay, language, system default, which is okay, but it does give you options that you want to force something there. Yeah, you can do that. System default would be obviously English, US. Automatically configure keyboard. Yes. The user doesn't have to. Suppose the user wants to select other languages, then you can go for no. This means that the user can select the keyboard at that time. Apply device name template. No. Otherwise, if I put yes, then it says that, hey, what do you want to give an automated name for that device, right? So my company, and then this. So create a unique name for your devices. Names must be 15 characters or less and can contain letters A to Z, lowercase, A to Z, uppercase, numbers 0 to 9, and hyphens. Names must not contain only numbers. Names cannot include a blank space. Use the %serial % macro to add a hardware specific serial number. So if you add this, then it will automatically detect the hardware serial number of the laptop or desktop and will add to the name as well. Why would I, why would we want to add a serial number? But anyway, alternatively, use the %rand %rand colon x % macro to add a random string of numbers where x equals the number of digits to add. So uh, here it says 4, right? This is 4, x here, right? This x. So if you put 4, there will be 4 numbers. So suppose it's your company name is, suppose this is Cloud Engineers Academy, right? So CEA and then hyphen 0000. First machine. Second machine will be CEA hyphen 0001 and 0002, 3, 4, and so on. And you can change that number 4 to 2. So it will be 01, 02, 03, 04, right? You can add 3 digits or 4 digits if it's a very large company. So suppose we go for that. Person.
Sorry, excuse me. Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it where you, if you want the name of the company to be displayed at the
Yeah.
first login screen, is it where it is too?
No, the login screen, that is called branding. That is,
Yeah.
excuse me. So that is here in the Azure
Sorry.
Active Directory. Yeah, but it's not here.
Okay.
It's branding. I think it's here. Show more, and it was governance or user experiences. Yeah, company branding, this one. So now here in the login name, you can customize and upload your logo and everything. Cool. So I'm gonna go for Cloud Engineers Academy CEA, right? And hyphen, and I'm gonna put %rand the whole thing, but I'm gonna change the x to the number because I want that number to be there. Okay, so that many numbers. So I'm just gonna go for x and change it to 2, right? So CEA-01, 00, 01, 02, and so on. It should automatically give the next machines if we add more. O and K. So that's the configuration that we are deciding to go for, and the explanation of all the options there as and well. Okay, so you know what? Those configuration pictures pictures should be there as well. ONK. I'm gonna go back here, and so I'm gonna go click next. That this is our out-of-the-box experience. You're installing a totally new operating system. So when the user logs in, all this happens at that time, right? After logging in, it will detect, oh, okay, I have to do this and that. Okay, assignments. Now, on whom you want to implement this out-of-the-box experience. So now we need to add that group. So we're going to go for add groups here, and the group name is Z's one, Intune. It starts with Intune, so I'll just simply type, oh, it's already there. Yeah, there are just a few groups here. So select, next, that's it. So this is the configuration, and create. Refresh. There you go. Autopilot config. So this is, yeah, supposed to be configured. This should be there, right? But autopilot, what else we can do? There's a lot more configurations elsewhere, so we're gonna talk about that later. So this is done. Autopilot, we needed to configure, and yeah, there's documentation there as well for autopilot. So I'll just put that documentation in the chat and go ahead. So go to Azure AD, MDM, MAM, Microsoft Intune, enrollment, add a security group there as well, same as above. Microsoft Intune enrollment, Azure AD. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is what I was saying, that the auto enrollment, as soon as the user gets registered to Azure AD, the user should be automatically getting registered to Intune. So this is important. I'm going to go to Azure AD, which is Entra ID now. I think I should /Entra ID. We should get used to the new name. All right. So Entra ID, we're going to go there, and we're going to go to MAM and MDM section. I'm going to go to, yeah, there's the Entra ID because this is a icon for that. And they've replaced things here and there. So now it's gonna be a bit more challenging. Maybe devices, all devices, and MDM and MAM. Where were they? Oh man, don't make me search. They've changed the whole thing. Okay. I'll go way down here, and permissions management, verifiable credentials, identity governance. I don't think it's there. Oh, settings, mobility. Vijay says settings, mobility. Okay, thank you. And identity settings. Show more. Identity governance. Intro Connect, hybrid management company. Okay, where's settings then? Hey, is it really way down? No. Settings. Where's settings? Or maybe it was, oh yeah, there. Thank you. Mobility. Thank you. Preview. Oh, okay. So Microsoft Intune is already there. What were we supposed to do here? MEM, Microsoft Intune, add a security group. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go to Microsoft Intune, and here, Yeah, Microsoft Intune, MDM user scope, it's already set to all. That's where we were before. And that's what we did inside Intune already. And that's the same place here. So it just updated automatically. So yeah, it was written same as above. Seriously. Okay. So this is already done. So this is done in Intune. I'll just update that. This is already done in Intune. Intune. Um, inside auto enroll. Okay. What else? In Azure AD, go to dashboard, devices, device settings, change maximum number of devices per user to 5 from 50. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Why there should be 50? So I'm gonna go for this as well. Okay, this is done, so I'm just putting it green. But this is at your dashboard devices and device settings, device settings, and change maximum. Yeah, that should be there already. I'm in Azure Entra ID, and the devices was up there already. Yeah, all devices, and then device settings. There it is, right? And device settings as users may join devices to Azure AD all. Okay, it's already configured as all. If in your case it's not, then just put it all. And yeah, users may register their devices with Azure AD. Yeah. Require multi-factor authentication. For now, we're not requiring, but otherwise, this is very good option for security. It's already on 5, or maybe in initially when we were talking about Azure Active Directory at the start of this course many centuries ago. So it was, I guess, 50, and I changed it down to 5, which is okay. So yeah, it should be 5. Huh. So if we go back here, it is already on 5, but maybe the default was not 5. And log into Windows 10 first time after installation with the Intune enabled user. Go to settings, account works. Yeah, that is something that we're going to be installing 10 and 11 at the same time. And then we're going to be, when it reaches the credentials, we're going to be logging from Megan and Nestor user accounts. Although we can log in from any user account, and it's supposed to go there, but uh, so guys, this is still too early because logging into the device and then what to do. Now go to AD user settings, devices, and check if yeah, company portal app. Yeah, that is something we need to do later. Okay, so I am adding that on the other slide. Continued. Okay, but here we haven't really prepared the whole environment, and the next thing was that uh, just log in from users. No, um, we let's create. Okay, so it's not done, so I'll just change it to the black color again. Let's create compliance policy. So we need to go through the compliance policy now, right? Let's create a configuration profile. Let's create an endpoint endpoint security baseline. Actually, baselines. Yeah, that's it. So then the whole environment will be ready that if the device joins Azure Active Directory, it should automatically join Intune. Then compliance policy kicks in, configuration profile kicks in, endpoint security baselines kick in as well. They should all kick in automatically, right? So that needs to be done. So this means that in next class, we're gonna, at the start of the class, we need to start. Let's start installation. Guys, you don't start because we're gonna be doing customization as well. So while we are installing in the background Windows 10 and 11, we're gonna be configuring compliance policy, understanding and configuring compliance policy, configuration profile, and endpoint security baseline. So let's start. Let's start installation of Windows 10 Pro. Actually, it's not Pro, it's ENT, Enterprise, that we downloaded, which is the best. And 10.11/11 Enterprise, right? So, yeah, that's what we're going to do in next class. And this is just a series going on with the Intune configurations. So this is pretty exciting, and obviously we're going to reach apps, and there's so much more here than this. Already this will be overwhelming. Lots and lots of compliance policies, and then the best practices. And then we have in apps, third-party apps as well, how to apply Chrome, and then how to apply Adobe Reader, how to apply MS Office, so all that. So it's pretty exciting. And then obviously cell phones as well. We're going to be deploying everything. Okay, so yeah, guys, this is 153. So have a nice day, have a nice weekend, and see you next class. But do reach this Intune stage where we are, and we have configured whatever we configured. So try to reach there so you could join us in the lab in next class. All right. So goodbye. Have a nice
Thank you
weekend.
so much, and have a nice day, everyone.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you all. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye. All right. Thanks. Have a nice weekend. Mhm.